up a Tapsico, lies a singing his swinging his town, I know. So have another beer, sit down, I'll tell you more. Folks work real hard, but they're doing it right, 'cause when the sun goes down, they're gonna party all night. I'm talking about Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore.
Happy holidays in BeMore. It's BeMore Good News. Yup, that's right. Only good news, and we have lots of it. So for this holiday season, let's highlight some of our best news ever from 2023. It's a good news party. Chris has got his hat on, and I got my little thing down here. Miss Bonnie's decked out, of course. Desmond has on his tiara. So, we're ready to go. And we're going to finally remember all of the good things that we found out about. And, of course, look forward with gratitude for all that's yet to come in the best city in America. I have just had such a December of holiday cheer and good news, starting with the premiere. It started way back on December 1st with the premiere of Mr. Trash Wheel at Harbor East Cinema. And Miss Bonnie and I had a cameo in it. And we'll tell you a little more about that. Then after that, we went to a Christmas bazaar with fashion designer diva Tony James, and she had designers, artists, and boutiques showcasing all the best fashion in our dear little city. Then we represented big at the mayor's parade. David Du Bois sang Crabs for Christmas. We spread kindness with Connie Weller and Eric Hyde of his Kindness Project. Chris was waving our banner down the road. And after that was the monument lighting. And of course, Desmond was there with his camera a whirl, and so many beautiful moments there as we gave candy canes out to the children. And the fireworks there were like choreographed to beautiful translucent colors. It was just a true work of art. Now I'm not done. After that, we went to see Wordsmith's Talented Teens at the original Lewis Museum, and that was quite a show. We were so proud of them. And then we topped it off with Moulin Rouge at the Hippodrome. Oh, what a show that was. If you can see it ever, please see it. It just was beyond amazing. But I'm still not done. I got to see Mariah Carey on Friday night singing You Know What.
The
Oh,
Queen of Christmas?
yes, I was there. I was way high up, but it was just beautiful. And right before that, we had done a cookies and carols party at the Baltimore station and sang carols and had a ball and even made a debut on the WMAR news that night. So, shoo, that's what we've been up to for December. So I hope that's some good news. So, Young, I know you were out and about celebrating the holidays, and you have some pictures of all the events that you did. So we can't wait for you to tell us a little about them and see what you were up to. And shout out to you, Young, because you were down on 34th Street collecting for the Salvation Army. So I just love that about you. We never know where you're going to show up.
I ran into Young at 34th Street while he was ringing the bell with one of our Holly Jolly Trolley tours last week.
Well, there you go. We're pulling all that good news together. So let's see what you have, Young.
Baltimore really is a special place, especially during the holidays, where you are bound to see your friends wherever you go. I ran into a bunch of friends I didn't expect to see at the Mayor's Christmas Parade, and also a bunch that I haven't seen in a while. It's a great time to get together with friends and check out all the pretty lights on 34th Street. Or volunteering to help the Hamden Family Center come back. And let's not forget all the wonderful shows that appear at the Hippodrome, where you might see all your friends there after all. I hope everyone has a happy and healthy holiday season, and I hope to run into you soon. Bye.
All right. Well, if that doesn't cheer you up, I don't know what will. But I might have a hint because we have our very own wordsmith, now TV star, for his upcoming debut on the night before Christmas on December 21st at 8 p.m. And I bet you he's going to tell us something about that and some of the other highlights that he's been up to. So good to see you, Word.
Good
So
to see you
tell
back.
us about your stardom, please.
Just another day for me.
Another day in the life of
He's used to it.
I'm definitely blessed, grateful for the opportunity, to take part in it. This was a program they do every year. They've been doing it for quite a few years. It's an Emmy winning program. So thankful to add my flavor, my touch to it. And, and also too, just glad that it's going to be running more than just one night. It'll be running 4 nights. So it'll be a couple opportunities to see it. And, we talked a little bit about, I think the last episode, this is a piece that I normally do with my Baltimore Symphony Orchestra colleagues, and it wasn't programmed this year. But if there's the lesson here for all the kids and for all the adults is that one door closes, don't get too low, don't be too high when things are great, kind of sit in the middle. And that's what I try to do. I try to really just look at things where maybe if I feel like certain things are going to turn out a certain way and they don't, I more have the positive spin and go, okay, well, maybe it's just supposed to happen that way. And then normally once my mind frame is in that mode, something beautiful comes out of it. So look forward to everybody checking it out. Judy dropped the dates and times, which I really appreciate. So please tune in, not just for myself, but it's a great show front to back. Definitely will get you in the holiday spirit. Other than that, just great things I'm gearing up for next year. I'm going to be doing a 2-month residency at Enoch Pratt Library off of Pennsylvania Avenue, which is in my neighborhood. And through there, we'll be doing a brand new play, but we'll also be doing Poetry Month is in February. So I'll be working with the kids to create some original poetry, and probably, I think the play I'm going to create this time, it's probably going to be a play that probably includes a lot of, I would say, poetry in it. And the poetry will be a lot of the dialogue. And just looking to continue to build my program as well. I'm getting some great offers now of available locations, people that want to offer me space. And I think on my side, just because I work in a lot of different facets, it's kind of hard for me to share space with other organizations, not because I don't want to, but I teach music, I teach theater, I teach music business, I teach dance. So it's, when you're giving me space, I really need the space. You know what I mean? And then,
Yep. Yeah, you
so
need like 10 word studios, then you could just go from one door to the next. Okay, here I'm
yeah,
going in to teach theater. Here I'm
yeah, I
like
need
Alice
to,
in Wonderland.
yeah, I'm trying to utilize all my degrees, all the hard work I put in being in school, you know what I mean? And trying to utilize that. So when it comes to, I think, just thinking of New Year's resolutions and thinking of the work that was done this year, speaking completely honest, professionally, I had a great year, blessed year. Personally, definitely was tough. And so
They
that's
don't
why
always match up that way.
I guess so. I mean, that seems to kind of be, unfortunately, a tale of my life a lot of times is it's just bittersweet a lot of times. I get a lot of beautiful blessings, but also I'm faced with a lot of hardships a lot of times. So I think too, that's where it comes a lot of I just try to stay even keeled no matter what's going on, and just know that we got the next day. Thankfully, we don't have to live the same day forever.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah. And then other than that, just, I don't know, for some reason, even my kids were saying it too. It doesn't totally feel like Christmas to us this year. And I think just because there's been a lot of personal things going on in our lives we've been having to deal with. But I'm just hoping as, it gets closer towards the end of this week and everything that we'll feel it a little bit more. But I always see how jolly all of you guys are here and how upbeat and positive all of y'all are here. So it boosts me up as well. So thank you for always having me. Thank you for always, I would say, accepting me. Thank you for always raising me up, supporting me in so many different ways over this past year. Most of all, I just want to say thank you to y'all. It's been great to be a part of this, get to know y'all, because everybody here is so talented. And I didn't know much about any of y'all about a year ago. And that's what's the beauty of life as well is, man, it changes so quick at times. Someone could be a complete stranger one day or a week later, and the next time, a year later, you're like, man, I've known this person for a year now. So just thank you all. Thank you for, supporting my many endeavors, because I know it's a lot of times, but besides showing up for myself, thank y'all for showing up for me as well.
Well, you make it so easy. After all, it's just, and on the edge of chaos lies the dream. So there you go.
Here's your money, hon.
There it is. So, and we truly enjoyed watching your talented teens at the Reginald Lewis, as I already announced. It was just wonderful to see what you did there. So it is wonderful to have this. That's why we are all together, because we are good news and we lead our lives to either make sure to find some even when the chips are down. We're always looking for good news. That's the moral of BeMore Good News for sure. So thank you so much for all your contributions to the city and to us. Word, truly, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we love you back, Word.
For sure.
Absolutely.
You're an inspiration, man. No doubt about it. All your time and talent that you give back, it makes such a difference.
It does. It does. Because like you make us want to be better. And if it doesn't feel like Christmas right now, Word, let a brother know. I can be your Santa Claus. I'll come around and like just descend from your chimney into your house and just throw all kinds of presents all around your family. So let me know.
I have no doubt that Desmond would do that too.
Oh, in a freaking heartbeat.
Oh yes, absolutely. He's the guy for the job. Oh gosh.
Why was you giving me you gave me this action right here. First, you descended down the chimney.
Look, I have a very particular representation of how I believe Santa Claus should act. So that's how I got to be.
Well, Desmond, speaking of you, let's hear about all your adventures. Now, I mean, you had beautiful pictures of the mayor's parade. I just loved them. So tell us all of your highlights from your tentacles and tiaras point of view, joining us here on BeMore Good News this year.
Cool. Thanks, Judy. So I'm going to highlight a few of my favorite things that I've done in Baltimore this year that honestly gave me an awful lot of life, gave me an awful lot of opportunities to meet new people and reconnect with folks I've known for a while, right? Up through and including you wonderful folks who, like Word said, I've got to know over the last year and change, right? Some of y'all I had been running into off and on in some of my travels, and then we started going, hey, you know what? Maybe we should actually do something together. So like when you invited me to be a guest on your podcast, on this podcast, and then to become a permanent member, like beyond humbled and honored to be that. I wanted to highlight Artscape and its return back to Baltimore, which is so good. I saw they just announced the dates for 24 as well too, so it's good that it's getting back rolling again. But like the amount of art and love and heart and passion that was out in these streets during Artscape this year was wonderful. The fact that it was on a weekend, even with that rain, didn't stop people. People still out there doing their thing. Even with the missing day on Saturday, people still came out hardcore on Friday and still came out on Sunday when it was hitting with drizzle and some rain there. There's still plenty of stuff to do inside, and even outside, people were walking around doing their thing.
And in 24, they're moving it back to the summertime, right? August?
That is what I saw.
I think it's the first weekend in August.
Yep.
And long-term predictions are already saying that's going to be the hottest weekend of the year. So.
Of course it is, because that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, I love those misting machines. They're fun.
Yes,
it's the way it should be.
I enjoyed the cooler temperatures, but it didn't quite have that same Artscape sizzle as as I'm used to in the summers there. I was blown away by finally being able to make it to the Edgar Allan Poe Fest and seeing all of you folks out there, Chris MCing, Word actually opening the last day of it too, and dropping all kinds of good poetry and rap and music on the crowd too was fantastic, right? Seeing people kind of bobbing their heads, right? Including us bobbing their heads along to words was magical, and seeing all the other cool folks who are into deep literature as well as like the kind of trippy Victorian horror that Edgar Allan Poe seems to exemplify in the communities that like his work has kind of built up in and around the city too. It was fantastic. Wanted to also point out some of the like curiosities and oddities stuff and like the kind of cryptid stuff that's all around Baltimore too. That's a big passion of mine. The World Oddities Expo keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. Fantastic performers, We've got folks doing like sideshow circus acts on stage, right? Contortionists. We got musicians doing their things. All kinds of vendors of like artful taxidermy, and everyone just kind of like having a darkly good time, right? For as depressing as some of this stuff could be, it's actually a way to kind of like uplift folks and like celebrate life in a lot of ways, right? Super slick. Same thing with the large amount of Krampus related events that have been happening over the last few months. So Krampus is like the anti-Santa, more or less, in kind of Germanic traditions. He walks around with Santa, really Saint Nick, and punishes naughty kids. But it's all in good fun and good spirits, right? So you have a bunch of folks dressed as these like
You
trippy
keep
monsters.
assuring me of that, so
I guarantee you, given how much people seem to like being spanked, it seemed like it was all good fun.
Whatever floats your boat.
Exactly. No judgment here, to say the very least. But yeah, it was so cool seeing people who knew about the events and knew about some of the traditions gathered together. We're roaming the various streets in like Fells Point and Hamden and other parts of Baltimore, singing Krampus carols, right? Gathering more people along the way, especially the folks who were out there for other reasons and turned around and wondered what the heck is going on here. It's like, hey, join in with us. It's all welcoming, it's all love, it's all inclusive. And folks then shrugged their shoulders and just came on with it. It was awesome. To include the one I was at this weekend, ended up at the end of the parade, ended at the Miracle on 34th Street, where I ran into Baltimore's best hun 2023, Kendra, and she was there for a photo shoot, and she saw me there. It's like, hey, this is cool. What is happening here? So it was awesome to kind of bring her into the fold a little bit too, and some of the other folks who were there for
did
the
you
Christmas
run into
lights.
Chris and Young as well?
I did not see Chris there.
I think we were there on a different night.
We all
I think
tend
so,
to
too.
be at the same events sometimes, and
We
sometimes
do.
we don't even know it that we're
That's
all
true.
there.
That's true.
Yeah, unless we're all going to see Word, and we're all.
Exactly, all kind of converging there too. Heck, sometimes we're like on the same hiking trails. I've run into Chris walking around the woods sometimes too. It's good stuff. But yeah, and I also want to highlight another great event too that I think helped really bring us together in the face of some challenges too. I would say this year's Hunfest was pretty dang good. There was an awful lot of togetherness, an awful lot of resilience that people kind of stood up for, as well as the amount of just hun love and fashion that was there, fashion and passion that was there in vast abundance. Really made my heart sing. So good stuff.
Yay! And we were all there.
Yeah,
That's the cool thing.
Exactly.
We were all there, and we have the picture on the website to prove it. I think that was wonderful. So, yep. Thanks for reminding me of that great moment.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, I think that's a lot of highlights for the year. So let's find out from Chris. Did you hook up? That you had hooked up with Dan Rodricks, as we know, and we're going to hear from Miss Bonnie because she actually got to be there, and we're looking forward to his next one. But tell us some of your magic moments this year in BeMore.
Well, real quick, I want to thank Desmond also, and I want to call him out for at the Mayor's Parade, not only taking all those great pictures, but handing out so many of our cards that have our QR code on the back, spreading the word about the BeMore Good News podcast. If you're watching us right now because you scanned the QR code, you can thank Desmond for that, because he was the one that was getting those QR codes out there to everybody. That was also on the sign that we were carrying on the parade route. So hopefully you scan that code, and that's why you're watching us right now. So thanks, Desmond, for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Make that a double. He is actually he has a whole skill level for handing them out. I watched him at the monument lighting, and he's got taking a picture, he's handing out the cards, he's meeting and greeting. I mean, yeah, he's a one-man wrecking crew there. That's for sure.
And thank you all so much. You're making a black man blush. I do need some more of those cards because I keep handing them out all over the place anyway. Too, like in my pockets, I usually have my own personal cards plus anything else I'm associated with, plus ones for friends and stuff too. So I need to get a refill from y'all at some point too.
Anytime.
I'm sure that can be arranged.
Right on.
Well, Judy, I was reflecting on 2023, and in the tourism and hospitality industry, it was really a comeback year. We saw a lot more visitors coming to Maryland and coming to Baltimore. We learned that the Baltimore economy is growing faster than any other economy in the state of Maryland. So there is a lot to celebrate. And I wanted to reflect a little bit today on perspective. And I wanted to share a story that happened to me, not in 2023, but probably more than 10 years ago. But it was such a profound moment in my life as a tour guide. And it really changed the way I started thinking about things. Excuse me. I got a call from the Baltimore Visitor Center one afternoon, and they had someone there who was asking for a tour guide. She wanted a private tour, but she was blind. She was completely without sight. And so they asked me if I could drive her in my car to various parts of Baltimore and provide a tour experience for her, even though she was blind. It was the first time I'd ever gotten a request like this. And so I started thinking to myself, I think I can figure this out. How can I share Baltimore with this person in ways that she can experience using senses other than sight? I can take her to places that she can touch, places she can hear, places she can smell. So I went and I picked her up and we started driving around Baltimore. We went by the H&S Bakery. We could smell the bread baking there. We went by the Inner Harbor. We could hear people walking along the waterfront. We could actually hear the water lapping up along the seawall there. I took her out to the B&O Railroad Museum, and she could feel the trains, actually touch them, get up close and personal with the trains. And I took her out to the University of Baltimore. And right there at Gordon Plaza is one of my favorite statues. It's the statue of Edgar Allan Poe. And we pulled the car over. I'm telling her the story of Edgar Allan Poe and his connection to Baltimore and why he's so important to our city, why we like to claim his legacy as our own. We get out of the car. I lead her over to the statue, and she starts feeling around the statue. She can feel his leg, his hand, his face. She can make out all of his features. And then she reaches around behind the statue and she says, oh, and carved into the statue back here behind him are some books. And I said, really? And I walked around behind the statue, and sure enough, carved into that statue as part of that sculpture are a couple of books. Now, I've been showing people that statue for years. Hundreds of groups, thousands of people. I told the story of Edgar Allan Poe, and I pointed out that statue, but never before had I seen those books. It took a blind person to open my eyes and show me something that I had never seen before. And I think about that often because it's all about your perspective. It's all about experiencing the world in someone else's shoes. And so my wish for the new year is that you'll keep that in mind and you'll try to experience the world through other people's eyes and ears and their senses. And you'd be amazed at what might be revealed to you. And not only that, but think about showing others the books behind the statue. How can you open others' eyes to things that they might not have seen before, especially as it relates to Baltimore? Because I think oftentimes when people look at our city, they're only looking at that statue, maybe from a distance, maybe from the bus as we drive by. And they're not taking the time to get off of the bus and really look at it up close. They're not taking the time to see the books behind the statue. So that's my wish for 2024. Try to find those books behind the statue and share them with everybody you meet. Wow. Judy, back to you.
Great. That is just, thank you so much. And that is just the true miracle of Christmas or miracle of holidays, whatever. It's just paying attention. And I say, expect a miracle. So beautiful. I just love it. You're giving me a chance to read something today that I saw that I think is just kind of right in the scheme of what you're saying. Hurt people hurt others, but luckily healed people heal others. Safe people shelter others. Free spirits free others. Enlightened people illuminate others. And love always wins. So shine your light of love on all who may cross your path in life, because what you do matters. And I think that's pretty much the theme of what we're trying to do here. So thanks for summing it up in a beautiful experience that happened. So Miss Bonnie, how you going to top that, hon? All right. I know you got some good stories to tell us, and tell us about some upcoming attractions too. So.
Okay, you ready for this? I mean, I can't top any of these heartfelt messages I'm getting from everybody.
I know. So I got to catch my breath. Oh, my goodness.
Listen everybody up. That's what we do. Okay, when you see 100 Santa Clauses on bicycles, that's the Masquerade Bike Party that's going to happen on December 29th. Okay,
Oh my.
That's going to start at St. Mary's
Desmond,
Park.
you are going to be there. Okay.
Okay, and I just hope it's a nice night. Okay, and then the Christmas Village is open till December 24th, and the Miracle on 34th Street till December 31st. And now, the second time, the Maryland Science Center is going to have midnight noon. So that's for the people who just don't want to stay up till midnight on New Year's Eve. They get to see the ball drop at noon. Okay, and they want to welcome in the new year, but they don't want to stay up all night to do it. So it's free admission, unless with your members, free with admission, and of course with your membership. They're going to have games and hands-on science exhibits. So drop that ball before bedtime. You won't miss a thing. That's what they said. Okay. And Vagabond Theater is having their 108th season. They're starting off with Agatha Christie's Witness for the Prosecution. And that's January 5th through the 28th. And then the Fells Point Corner Theater, not to be outdone, is having their 5th annual Monologue Slam 5. And that's a $100 prize if you can make the judges cry and laugh and cringe. And they said, let's kick the new year down the stairs, out the door, and on a South Ann Street.
All at the same time, Miss Bonnie?
Yep.
I got to laugh and cry and cringe?
That's right. And you win $100. Okay. And then Friday, January 19th at 6:30, the Poe Toaster Murder Mystery at Westminster Hall. And Chris is going to be involved in that with his bus tour. And you got to solve the mystery on Poe's 215th birthday. And I heard that the Poe House has enlisted the code breakers at NSA's Cryptologic Museum to help unmask the murderer. And that's on poebaltimore.org. And that's good news. We're going to find out who did that. The guy who always left the brandy and the rose, he's gone now. And they think he was murdered. And the good news is they're going to find out who did it. Okay. And the best news of all for this year for me is swimming in the harbor is promised for the springtime. Can you believe it?
I'll be there.
Really deep part.
I'll be watching. I ain't jumping in.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm watching from the side. Like they are going to try to make it happen this spring. Yeah, for real. Okay.
Well, we heard at the Mr. Trash Wheel thing that we were involved.
You should have come to our movie, and you would have heard it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. That's my bad.
We got movie stars and TV stars here. It's hard to keep up.
I know. And my, Gay Pride Parade was great. It was our first time in it, and we were really well represented, right, Miss Judy? It was raining. We had a convertible, but we were there. Yeah. Desmond was there. Everybody was there. We had a good time. And now I got to find out from Desmond, what the heck is artful taxidermy?
What is it? So it is taking and producing kind of more creative versions of taxidermy animals and such, right? So I mean, there's ones where you just kind of make them look lifelike and do your thing. There's some where you turn some taxidermy beasts into like dolls and stuff. Like they had some vendors that had like possums that had wigs on and like nun outfits and stuff too, right? As well as ones who they used to be a taxidermy art competition / showcase over at the Walters that used to happen every single year. That was fantastic. And like artists from across the East Coast and sometimes across the nation would come to our fair city and show their displays there too, right? Taxidermied art can be something just like, it's something that stands on its own, something that's jewelry.
That's good news too.
Oh yeah, super inventive stuff.
Okay, so
here's a fun fact. You know what I learned? The duck-billed platypus. When the duck-billed platypus was first discovered, that's what they thought it was. They thought it was creative taxidermy. They thought someone had sewed a duck's bill onto a beaver and then put duck's feet onto it. But it's a real animal.
It's a real animal.
Yeah, God did that.
Exactly. Yeah, it was God.
See, and you can even learn things on BeMore Good News too.
Who says God doesn't have a sense of humor, right?
But now
I know he's got a sense of humor. Are you kidding me? This was a funny year.
Yes, it was. So is that it, Miss Bond? That's what we can expect? Okay. Yes, to just say that we did really have a wonderful year of events, though, and being out in the city and meeting the most wonderful people. So also, Chris, just to add to a special premiere, I also was on the news after the monument lighting, and I
That's right.
was quoted as saying that America is the best city in the country. I meant to say in America, but it all came out okay. But so that was pretty fun too. So that's a whole lot of good news for 2023. So now we're going to double it for 2024. So please have a holiday filled with love, peace, and of course, good news. Get in touch with us. Tell us all your good news. Find us on YouTube and our new website, BeMore Good News. It's a fabulous website. You can learn all about us. Send in information. If you want to be on, please contact us. Meet Desmond somewhere. He'll give you one of our cards. And so we'll see you in 2024. And until then, be more kind, be more love, and be more good news.
Yeah,
Happy
there's big
holidays.
money.
Happy New
Big
Year.
money.
Way down on the shores of the Patapsco lies a singing and swinging his town, I know. So have another beer, sit down, I'll tell you more. Folks work real hard, but they're doing it right, 'cause when the sun goes down, they're gonna party all night. I'm talking